Have you ever wondered why people with exceptionally high intelligence often remain so silent? Not because they have nothing to say, but because they have already realized that most conversations barely scratch the surface. Individuals with an extremely high IQ inhabit a world that, for them, often feels intellectually insufficient. Imagine sitting in a room full of people, and while everyone else is debating the volume of the music, you are already perceiving the subtle cracks in relationships, the unspoken fears, and the patterns that will inevitably repeat themselves over the next 5 years. It is not a curse, but it is a profound form of loneliness, because the real challenge of a highly capable brain is not that it thinks, it is that it cannot stop thinking. While others switch off, they analyze. While others feel, they categorize. And this is where the greatest misunderstanding is born. The world perceives them as arrogant, when in truth they are simply exhausted. Exhausted from constantly seeing the logic behind every emotional outburst. Exhausted from predicting the next 3 turns of a conversation before the other person has even finished their first sentence. But the deepest psychological paradox unfolds within. People with exceptionally high intelligence often fall into what some researchers call the existential depression spiral. They grasp systems so quickly that, often by early adulthood, they have already decoded the futility of many social rituals before they ever had the chance to believe in them. They know that a resume is little more than a story we tell to be accepted. They know that most conflicts are simply unmet childhood needs, disguised in adult vocabulary, and this knowledge does not make them arrogant, it makes them cautious. They withdraw, not because they despise others, but because they need to protect themselves from the pain of always being the ones who see more, feel more, and carry more than they can ever fully express. Perhaps you know that person in your life who rarely offers their opinion, but when they do, they strike the core of the matter with such precision that it almost stings. The one who lingers in the background at family gatherings, not because they are uninterested, but because they have already understood the dynamics and know that any intervention will only reopen old wounds. This constant metacognition, thinking about one's own thinking, observing how one observes, wears down the nerves. Studies on cognitive load reveal that the brain of a highly intelligent person is often more active at rest than the brain of an average person engaged in complex tasks. There is no pause. Every gesture, every message, every hesitation in conversation is automatically processed and woven into a complex framework of probabilities, motivations, and historical patterns. And here lies the hidden trait that almost no one speaks of. Most people with a very high IQ do not lack emotional intelligence, rather, they have learned to numb it. They recognize every subtle emotional shift in others. They know exactly how to respond to create harmony, but they are exhausted from constantly being the architects of everyone else's feelings. So they choose silence. They allow conflicts to escalate when they could resolve them in 3 seconds, simply because they no longer have the energy to carry the responsibility for the emotional incompetence of those around them. If you recognize yourself in this description, whether in yourself or in someone close to you, ask yourself tonight a question that goes deeper than the usual ones. When was the last time you allowed someone to guide you emotionally without your mind already being 10 steps ahead, calculating the outcome? When was the last time you let yourself go without analyzing where you would land? The answer to that question may be the key to a life where your mind is no longer your strictest guardian, but instead becomes your ally once again. If this glimpse into human psychology resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future insights, and to share this video with someone who may be carrying more silence than they show.